So, tell me a little bit about what you do. It sounds like you have quite an exciting career.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I'm kind of one of those people that uses storyteller as the best way to describe what I do. I've been making films for about 15 years and have, write essays, some plays, and other things. And I straddle between being writer and producer and direct as well.
Nice. So, what are you currently working on?
Oh, well, all right. So I currently have this film Pulling to Paradise. Are you familiar with that? Have you seen it?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Pulling to Paradise is coming out August 3rd. And so that's, the biggest unveiling. And I have a short film that I recently completed as well that we're looking at festivals for the fall. And, it's always trying to, you gotta be that shark that keeps swimming.
Incredible. Good for you. And how would you describe it? Both your short and the movie that's coming out on August 3rd.
Oh, well, Pooling to Paradise is, in the shortest of way, it's like kind of a breakfast club in a ride share. But yeah, no, it's a story about four, an accidental pool. Four strangers, all in their, elder millennials, basically from their late 20s to mid 30s, who happen to be in a LA ride share that turns into kind of a literal and metaphorical trip to paradise. So they're going to Paradise, Nevada, very spontaneously.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And what would you say was some of the biggest challenges about making it?
I feel like every independent film is is a challenge. Shooting a movie in a car has its limitations, and an ensemble of four characters, and we were so lucky that we got such great chemistry with them. But we're putting them in a confined space with they're very four distinct characters. And getting it done on time and on budget is what every the challenge of every independent film.
Exactly. And I think you did a great job. And what were some of your favorite memories about filming?
Um, hmm. I guess it was going on Route 66 was a lot of fun, and shooting in that the shop that we did, which we really created some magical moments. Being in the desert was wonderful. And the chemistry that the actors found very quickly was just, there was a lot of fun on set, and it was very rewarding because, even though it's comedic, it's also very much an existential, dramatic journey, and needed the characters really to be able to um, straddle between, because I write human condition comedies, so they're not like, they're kind of based in reality. So, and it was really nice because all the characters really got into. I'm hearing background noise. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's
Weird.
not. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I was distracting me. But yeah, so it was really nice that they all really got into their characters, and that was really rewarding and fun. But like independent film to me, like all types, because I've done this, especially when you're working. When I do the last three things, this is the third of ensemble works, and it's a lot of it's hard because it's kind of in some ways herding cats, because you've got four characters with distinct um balanced weight in the movie, and independent film is always really just hard to pull off. So it's fun, but it's hard work.
That's very good. And tell me a little bit about the casting. You have a great cast. What went
Thank you.
into who you chose and who was chosen for each role?
Yeah, that's also an art too of independent film. Because the characters that I wrote were composite of a lot of people I knew. So I had images, but not necessarily actor images. And but the actors that, when we sat with the casting director and also people we knew, we just found the people that best represented these. But Jordan Carlos, who plays our rideshare driver, is a comedian, an actor and writer I know from New York, and he did a podcast, or I think it may be coming back with Michelle Buteau, called Adulting. And
Yes.
I met him at a Writers Guild party. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this movie and it kind of deals the same thing of sort of coming of age and growing up and the challenges of accepting that next stage of life. And he's like, he loved the script. And then uh, Lin Chen, who plays the mom, was somebody that the director hugely admired, and she's done a ton of independent films as an actress and been on a lot of television, and she was great. Um, Jonathan Lipnicki, who it was really important to have somebody that played that role that could bring sensitivity and warmth, because there is definitely element, it could be played wrong because it wasn't meant to be. Even though he happens to be somebody who is by profession a talent agent, I didn't want it to feel entourage at all. I wanted him to be this real guy dealing with real challenges, but he has some struggles. And Jonathan, who was one of our associate producers, had worked with him before. We're like, oh my god, he's perfect. And then Dreama Walker, the casting director, and I just thought she would be perfect for that role. So that was more in the traditional space. And then Sharon Manning, who also is a small part, is somebody too that one of my associate producers who'd worked with, and she was perfect idea for that role too. So that's how the cast came together, where there's traditional casting through casting directors, as well as reaching out to people and finding that they would all be available at the same time, which was its own form of, magic and kismet.
Well, you did a terrific job with that. And what else are
Thank
you working on? Any other projects on the docket right now?
Yeah, well, so I have this short film, which is very different, with two actors on a park bench in New York. It's called April Showers. And, it's just something I did. And I don't want to give too much away, but it's two people. It's also it's it is in that sort of existential space similarly that this is, but not so comedic. It was two people who meet on a park bench in New York City in that beginning of the pandemic. So it's called April Showers. It takes place in early April, and it's kind of these two strangers, or are they strangers, that meet, and you kind of discover who they are, and life, and it's kind of an unexpected relationship impacted by the pandemic. And then I'm working on something else, which is very different, about a porn star looking for love, a male
Ooh.
porn star. So it's kind of, yeah, I wanted to look at on this new thing, kind of how love is, and sex too, like everything's becoming so transactional. And I had done it as a short play that a theater company had asked me to write. I'm like, oh, I really want to explore this male guy who's found himself in the sex trade, but him just looking to meet this nice girl, and that nervousness. So I'm working on that, as well as this other woman who's a divorced mom that he meets, who's basically down on love. She's in her 40s, and her daughter is sort of sugar dating men that she would find desirable. So I have the two of them, and I'm just starting to explore that world. You always, as a writer, when you get to this stage for film, you got to be like, okay, what next? What next? So, but yeah, so I'm hoping, especially that it's gets really good reception when it gets out, and opening on these next projects. I do some memoir writing that I do on a Medium channel, that doing as well.
Beautiful. And where can we follow you so we can continue to watch all your amazing projects?
That would be amazing. So I kind of, Fox Meadow Films is my company and my website. So just Fox Meadow Films stock. There's a connection to the website. And
Perfect. Thank
yeah,
you. All right. Thank you. We'll send you a follow. And thank you for taking the time today. I appreciate you.
Oh, well, and thank you. Thank you for finding me and wanting to hear more about my work.
Yep, we'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, bye.